Hello, everyone. My name is Farouk Abbas, and today I want to give you some essential tips in prosecuting a divorce or custody lawsuit against a narcissist or a sociopath in Nigeria. Who is a narcissist? Narcissists are usually people who are very domineering, controlling. They usually lack empathy. Their need for love or admiration is excessive, and they can't be pleased. They like to be in control at all points in time. While a sociopath has been defined as someone who lacks conscience. A sociopath lacks conscience and they can hurt you without caring how you feel. In this video, I plan to use the two terms interchangeably, but there's a difference between them. And the difference is pretty straightforward. A narcissist will eventually hurt you, but most times when they hurt you, they don't set out to hurt you. They do what they do because they can't feel other people's emotions. They don't have emotions, so they don't understand your feelings. But a sociopath deliberately sets out to hurt you and sees it as a game. And most times, divorce and custody lawsuits are usually very problematic, very complex and challenging, but the complexity is usually more advanced when you're dealing with a party who is a narcissist or who is a sociopath. And in filing a lawsuit against this set of people, you must be very strategic and you must take the following tips into consideration. Number one tip I want to give you is you need to assess your case methodically. Filing a lawsuit against a narcissist or a sociopath is not something you do out of sheer happenstance or just rush to go and do without thinking or being calculating. You need to assess your case very well, see a clinical psychologist or see a professional who will listen to you and advise you on what your case is about. Because in most cases, you might not be able to diagnose these these symptoms on your own. So if you know you're dealing with a sociopath or a narcissist, then that helps you to be better prepared. And for you to be able to deal with them successfully, you must understand the nature of the person. So if the person you are dealing with is a narcissist, then you must understand narcissism very well. You must understand the character traits of a narcissist. And if they are a sociopath too, you need to understand this very well. The second tip I'd like to give you is that you need to ensure that your safety is taken into consideration. You must be physically secure. And what do I mean by this? Most times when you're married to a narcissist or a sociopath, you're going to be having tension in the house or altercations regularly. When you start getting to this stage, you must protect yourself either by moving out of the house or asking them to move out or by reporting to the police authorities or by talking to your security guards in your neighborhood to watch out for you or by allowing a third party to live with you or taking any other step that can protect you. Because we've seen cases where parties get hurt. Even some might even get murdered by their parties. We see these cases in the papers all the time. So if you know you're dealing with this sort of personalities, you must not take your security for granted. And you must also protect yourself against yourself because most times when you're facing this sort of parties, you are emotionally disturbed. Some people might be depressed, and when you are depressed and despondent, you can take any form of action. The third tip I want to give you is don't react emotionally to any action by a narcissist. Narcissists thrive when you flare up. They like to rile you up. When you get angry, they get excited. So when you're dealing with a narcissist or a sociopath, you need to stay boring. Don't feed their love for your overreaction. React in a manner that shows that you are not disturbed by what they are saying. And again, a lot of them always tend to be very smart. So this means that when they are acting in a particular way towards you, you must not react emotionally because if you react emotionally, you might miss the point, you might make some mistakes, or you might not be able to achieve your objectives. So stay focused and don't react emotionally. The next point I'm going to, I've mentioned it already, you must be focused on your goal. When you decide to commence a lawsuit against a narcissist or a sociopath, you should have a goal. Either it's to get custody or to get any other thing from the court. Remain focused on your goal. And one thing you need to be assured of is that the narcissist would always distract you. They would always file all sort of applications. They can even request for custody, even if the child is 1 month old, or they play all sorts of games. So don't get drawn into their games. remain focused on your own objective. And in remaining focused on your objective, you might need to sacrifice some points for them or some issues for them so that you can get and achieve the bigger picture. Another tip I want to give you is that avoid what I call parental alienation. Parental alienation is a situation whereby a parent psychologically poisons the mind of the child against their other parent. When you do this, it can backfire because the narcissist can get evidence that you are doing that. And when they get this evidence and they present it before the court might decide to give them custody or give them more favorable terms because the court has seen that you are poisoning the mind of their child against them. So if you are dealing with a narcissist, yes, I know you want to protect your child from a narcissist, but you need to know that you must not poison the child's mind. Allow the child to communicate freely with their parents, but take steps to protect them from any harm. And the final tip I would like to give you is that you need to ensure that you have a lawyer who is very experienced in family law disputes, especially the high conflict ones, because narcissists and sociopaths have the tendency and the skill to manipulate and to deceive anyone. We've seen cases where a narcissist deceived the courts, deceived the mediators, deceived the social workers. As a matter of fact, a clinical psychologist in one of the universities in America said that the performance of sociopaths and narcissists is almost um, award-winning performance, because they are so skilled at manipulating anyone they come in contact with. So having a lawyer who understands their patterns and their behavior will tend to give you an advantage. In conclusion, anyone can fall for a narcissist or a sociopath. But when we find ourselves in this sort of situations, we must be methodical and take steps towards responding against them. And in doing that, I didn't mention one particular tip. You must gather your evidence against them in a methodical manner. They're usually very smart, they don't leave traces, but document your experiences with them, document their actions. So know that you can confront them because evidence is what you need to confront them. Document your evidence, go to the courts, and you will be able to surmount any challenges they might bring to your doorstep or bring to you. So I hope with these tips I've given you, if you are considering filing a lawsuit against a narcissist or sociopath, take them into consideration, implement them, and I'm sure you would triumph in the suit. Thank you very much.